It is December 11th, 2023. Monday Night Raw is still ongoing, but CM Punk came out in Cleveland, apologized to the crowd, declared that Raw is going to be his home brand going forward, and as he was wrapping that up, Seth Rollins interrupted him, causing the two of them to have an exchange of words, but the end result being that CM Punk declared himself for the Royal Rumble, putting in motion the storyline we all believe is going to happen, which is going to be CM Punk facing Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. Matt Morgan, what did you think of this promo?
I was very excited by it, so much that I just got back from work and doing something with my wife where I cut all that off and said, Glenn, we've got to get on the air because I felt this was CM Punk's best promo in WWE so far. And that's saying something because SmackDown, he absolutely ballparked it. And the reason I wanted to do this because I thought CM Punk did an amazing job of tying so many loose ends up with this humble Harry routine that he's doing right now, hat in hand, talking about his ghosts from the past, specifically in Cleveland, and making it around the area in which the arena he was in Cleveland, right? So all the fans would keep cheering over anything he said regarding Cleveland if you listened. Smart on his part. And the part I really dug the most, that gave it some legitimacy, he basically said, hey, look, folks, I'm walking through these halls here in Cleveland, and I see all these ghosts, all the ghosts from my past. And he goes, look, while I don't want to focus on the past, I'm here to focus on the future and the present and the now. But with that, I got to make a few things right, is basically the gist of it. And calling, out Indy Hartwell I love that part. It gave it such a realism of saying, hey, look, if you were here in Cleveland 10 years ago when I walked out, and the storyline reason of CM Punk walking out and being his championship stripped from him at the time was because they had Randy Orton punt him in the head backstage so he can defend his title. So WWE stripped him of his title when reality was Punk walking out in Cleveland that night. And there was a young fan by the name of Indy Hartwell in attendance that told him backstage that hurt her. And he referred a story back to his childhood when Roddy Piper in WCW did something similar, and he felt betrayed as well. And that's when he immediately, very intelligently, somehow transitioned the entire promo into I'm here to focus on the future and the now, and then talked about him signing with Raw, but first putting over SmackDown and Nick Aldis, the new GM. And he did a fantastic job of putting NXT, I felt, on a very similar level, even though he did talk about HBK offering a very amazing package, but the ability to work with the future stars of tomorrow was very smart and very good for the NXT brand. I thought to be mentioned within the same conversation of the biggest free agent WWE's had in a decade, I will argue.
Yeah,
seriously. And more of the story is this: he did such a great job again of this humble Harry routine. I'm back to right my wrongs. I get to write my own ending to my story. And then, beep, here comes Seth Rollins to shoot on him and say all the things he probably has ever wanted to say about him. He hates him, and how he doesn't get to call WWE home and Monday Night Raw home anymore. It's Monday Night Rollins. And with respect to Seth, because Seth is a better worker than Punk in the ring, that doesn't give him 20 years from now, he will not have a bigger name in this business, with respect, than CM Punk will. I'm sorry, he can win 50 more championships. He will not have a bigger name. And I hate saying that because I love him and I love his wife, Becky. Both, personally. I think the world of them. But, sorry, not in a million years will he have a bigger impact on this business than CM Punk. Without CM Punk, Seth Rollins, you ain't wrestling right now, brother. I hate to break the news to you. Guys like you weren't even a blip on Vince McMahon's ass. Yes, you're taller than the rest of the good workers and in-ring 5-star generals, but at the same time, it's still, like I said, like I affectionately like to say, being the world's tallest short person, according to Vince McMahon, because Vince likes big, jacked guys. And I'm sorry to say, and maybe Seth doesn't want to hear this, Punk is the one that broke that damn wall down. And people need to give him respect for it. All your favorite indie talents are in the WWE today because of CM Punk. Not Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan helped it. Don't get me wrong. I would be lying if I said he didn't. Nowhere near on the level that Punk did. Vince McMahon let CM Punk tell a storyline of him walking out of the company with the frigging World Heavyweight Championship. CM Punk is what made that company go around when the company was boring as crap. And it was very hard for me to watch it. Very hard to watch it. I was at TNA at the time, and I had a hard time watching it. He was the only thing on that show at the time that really made me want to tune in every once in a blue moon. So respect what Seth said. Come on, dude. By saying that this dude doesn't get to call this home, yes, he most certainly does get to call it home. And just because you've been there longer or never missed dates, well, that's all respect. Like, I have respect for that. I don't have more respect for that than what Punk meant to the overall business, and WWE finally breaking the wall down and getting shorter, more diminutive, great in-ring talents, jobs there, and not just jobs, main event slots. Punk created that for you. You're welcome.
No, and I think tonight this was very interesting. CM Punk has been doing something very fascinating where he's really owning his past. I mean, he has to, right? You can't.
Can I ask you a question?
Please.
I'm praying. I hope. Maybe I'm in the minority on this. I hope he's setting everybody up to saying, I lied about it all. I'm not grateful to be back. I'm here for the money. Screw everybody. I hope he does that. Oh, God. I would go bananas.
Raw after Mania, Matt. Save that for the Raw after Mania. You know, you bought it. Hook, line, and sinker. Right? This, you know, Ferris Bueller's Day Off is one of his favorite movies of all time. So it makes sense that he would be doing this all for his own ill-gotten gains. But I like this night that he's really owning it, even with Friday, with the nod that he had to the his instances of getting in fights backstage at AEW. This was good tonight. And talking about he's trying to put this all behind him. This is the new and improved CM Punk. And with Seth Rollins, I'm kind of surprised they brought this to a head so quick. Seth Rollins did that interview with Sports Illustrated.
Me too.
But you know what, though? I think they're making lemons out of lemonade. This is usually the slowest time of year. There's so many eyes on the business. Why not use this to build anticipation for the Royal Rumble and use that as the launching pad to take it even further for Mania?
Oh, so Glenn, lemons out of making lemonade out of lemons. We're talking about CM Punk and Seth Rollins.
No, I know, but they're making the most of the opportunity, is what I'm saying. I'm saying his return is great, but the timing of this, though, or maybe they're geniuses. Maybe this is true four-dimensional chess because they brought him back at Survivor Series, which usually is like in school, how after Thanksgiving it's like, well, we're done for the year. See, we'll all start paying attention again in January. That's professional wrestling. So they said, hey, this is happening at the slow time. We're going to make the slow time into a busy time. And using this to build the Rumble, I think is incredible how they're doing this. And it's weird. Look, I hope there's some amazing swerve here in this war of the words between them, because it would be weird if it's just, okay, it's going to be them at Mania. It's going to be main event of night one. And we don't get anything eventful that happens with the storyline, aside from them just, like flipping each other off and yelling how much they hate each other between now and then, which I could go for a few months of that, but maybe not till April.
That's a good point. But anytime I hear it, I'm not being political, but anytime I hear the word 4D chess, what do you think I think of?
I know, but it's in the lexicon now. The
clown boxes in my own party that talk about like Donald Trump's playing 4D chess. No, he's not. But I'll digress. So tonight I'm not gonna lie, I was flabbergasted with that promo. I really was, because I told you Punk has a tell, and I'll tell the fans again. He has a tell when he's uncomfortable. He makes this uncomfortable smile. And maybe you guys have seen it. I tried to say it last show when we did our podcast last. But he makes this uncomfortable smile. Tonight I did not see it. So he's in full groove, and he did a great job. I was just really impressed with the storytelling and tying the loose ends that were out there that I didn't think they would touch. I really didn't. I just thought that he was going to come back as CM Punk, the former guy that did what he did to John Cena and turned WWE upside down, cut one of the best shoot promos of all time, one of the best period promos in WWE history of all time.
Yeah.
At least top three. With his original pipe bomb promo, right? And I thought they would lay into that more and show us highlights, things like that. So I dig where they're going with him. And yes, Seth hit the nail on the head by saying, gas left in the tank, basically calling him an old man. And by a comparison, I'm not gonna lie, he cannot keep up with Seth as far as Seth's in-ring wrestling goes, because Seth is one of the absolute best. I don't think gets enough credit sometimes for his in-ring capabilities. And he's got the character with it. He's flying on all cylinders. I just don't get how he doesn't remember. And I'm going to remind folks back when in the day when Punk was on his way out, they were constantly trying to push Roman Reigns and when he was with the Shield.
Yeah.
And it was Punk that was sticking up for John Moxley and Seth Rollins when they had no voice at all. So what are you, butthurt, Seth, because he was on Fox and maybe said something semi-negative about you, or he said something semi-negative about you on Twitter 2 times in total? Who cares? I would go bananas if Stone Cold crapped on me. Or said something semi-negative about me, like, damn, he got my name in his mouth. This is great.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm sure Seth has to, on one hand, I mean, Bret Hart knows who he is. His comments weren't exactly flattering. But still, it's like, hey, when people you grew up watching are talking about you, like, that's kind of cool.
I believe so. I go back. Let me give a self put over moment. ECW one night stand. It was the very first one night stand where I'm on the SmackDown crew that let me give a fat finger shake. Invaded the ECW arena that night.
Yeah.
On the SmackDown brand with the Raw next to us. And as we're coming down the stairs, it's the very last one. And if you go back and watch it, Stone Cold's like, and you big gassed up bastard, you too get down here. He didn't have to say that. He didn't have to say that. Even my dad picked up on that, who's a wrestling fan but doesn't know the insides of it. He's like, that was cool of Steve Austin to say that to you. I was like, yes, it was.
Hey, good or bad, man. I think when the legends acknowledge you, it's, Richard Simmons squinted at me once and mocked me. And I was like, well, it's still nice to be seen.
Wait, slow down. What? No,
I was at a video convention and I'm there. My friend was getting Richard Simmons' autograph and I didn't have glasses at the time, so I couldn't see. And I'm like squinting, trying to make out Richard Simmons. And Richard Simmons is talking to my friend Yada, and he looks at me, it's like doing a mocking thing. And I'm just like, oh my God, Richard Simmons just burned me. That's so cool.
That is very cool. Like, who gets to say that? I can't say that.
I know, like Don Rickles, you expect, sure, but Richard Simmons, he's supposed to be nice to everyone. Anyhow, no, I think tonight though, this was phenomenal. This built so much anticipation, and I like that they're just gonna put it all out there. Like, okay, with CM Punk, we've learned the wording of things is off limits, but nothing is really off limits in this. They're talking, I mean, even in that interview in Sports Illustrated, Seth Rollins mentioning Colt Cabana, like, okay, they're not hitting every single beat, but CM Punk is back. To your point, he's not back to play kayfabe and be like, oh, I left and I came back. No, he's back to keep it real, warts and all, and make that part of the story. And honestly, that's what made the pipe bomb so damn exciting when that happened, was the fact that you just went like, whoa, this is like really like deep in the lore and real. And this isn't your usual scripted good guy, bad guy thing. In fact, I'm even going to argue in the CM Punk versus Seth Rollins thing, is there a baby face in this?
The fans turned on Punk. They got to be careful because the fans turned on Seth like 3 times in that promo. Yes, they did their song singing. I will argue they didn't do it to support him. They just did it because they liked doing it and they had to get it out of their system.
Yeah.
With respect again to Seth. But I just wish they gave, if I could, beggars could be choosers here. I wish they gave Punk 30 more seconds because I wanted to see him eviscerate him verbally, but maybe this is why I'm not in charge of WWE. Maybe they saved it and they made Punk look like, even though he announced his announcement, he's going to enter the Rumble, and to my understanding, he's the first one to enter the Rumble, right?
Well, no, he's not the first person to enter. It's
my apologies.
No, we've had, I think, didn't Randy Orton? No, Randy Orton didn't declare. Somebody else declared. Somebody else declared.
I think you're right. But my point is, like, by him announcing, it's supposed to be a big announcement. And that was smart on WWE's part because it puts the interest on the Rumble. You need to watch this because you want to follow this story of this guy who just got browbeaten by Seth Rollins, the World Heavyweight Champion, completely jabroned him and said he's going to level up here, and Punk is down here. And he's old and all this other stuff. And I think that will work because it's hard to put CM Punk in a sympathetic position. That's why I'm hoping they give him a mic against Seth a couple more times on the road to WrestleMania.
Oh, they have to. Yeah.
And I hope he reminds him, dude, when nobody cared who you are, you were just a rando dude in a 3-man group that was in 3rd place at the time of all 3 of them. Because Moxley came out, if you remember, at FCW as an amazing promo that Regal stamped, McFoley stamped. I remember it like yesterday. and Roman somehow became the golden boy. So that put Seth in third place. He was the dude with two-toned hair. That was it. That's what he was known as, with a bulletproof vest, wrestling with a bulletproof vest. Cool. That was about it. And here you had Punk, the guy you're crapping on, by the way, who was speaking up for you non-stop.
Yeah. No, it's so Cody, as Stephen Camp's pointing out, Cody also declared himself for the Rumble. So this is interesting because we got the two guys in the main events of Mania, in the men's main events of Mania, who are both going to be in that Rumble. It's going to be interesting which one wins there and which one wins the Elimination Chamber. If it goes down the way, I'm hoping for some sort of swerve to where we don't see it coming, what's going to happen. But, you know, the surprise is part of the journey.
So let me tell the fans this. Punk doesn't have to win. Cody Rhodes doesn't have to win either, in my opinion, for us to get our dream matches between Punk versus Seth and Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns to finish the story. I don't think like one of the just because one wins it doesn't mean the other still won't get our dream match at Mania, in my opinion.
Just no weird shenanigans. Nothing weird where they somehow both win the Rumble as a tie, form a tag team.
I'll stamp that. I agree with you.
You know, although it would be interesting the pairing of them together, because that is a very interesting AEW reverse double invasion. It went both ways somehow. Yeah.
Glenn, if what you said it happens, which we hope it doesn't, and both men's feet touch at the same time, will Hunter come out and tear both quadriceps on the way to the ring? What the hell's going on? Vince was doing. That was so funny. I was on the roster at the time. I was like, how do I respond to this? Am I supposed to laugh at this? Because I want to laugh right now so bad, and no one's laughing. We should be laughing at this because this is ridiculous. He didn't have to go out there.
Yeah. That I mean, we'll see what happens with it, but I think this is exciting. I think that going into Mania right now, I mean, look, with WWE, this is just, again, we wouldn't be talking about Monday Night Raw tonight with this sense of urgency.
No,
if CM Punk weren't back in the company.
I could not wait to text you, everybody that would listen to me. Please, can we come on the air because I wanted to talk about it. Yes.
Right. So we got a couple super chats, and then we'll have some final thoughts on this. J.R. Smith saying, hope all is well. Much love from the NYC Demon Diva crew. Thank you to Issa. I know she's redirecting some of her feed here.
Issa's got a crew now?
Yeah, Issa does the live watch-alongs. She's like, I'll redirect people over from my stream.
So to put myself over some more, can we go back in time when I vouched that we need to get her on the air? Do we not remember that?
I know. And now it's like I see podcasts with Issa twice a week. Yeah, she's great.
I saw on WWE Network, like as a reporter in the crowd. I was pretty proud and pretty impressed.
She's the reason my wife watches the press conferences. She pops for Issa and Sean Ross Sapp. So Imvish M saying, feels so great that you guys are back. I was damn addicted to your show. Helped loads during my workouts. What's going to be CM Punk's best feud in 2024? Thoughts?
Time out. I love the fact that you're watching or listening to us in your workouts. That's
absolutely.
Badass. Go get it. Love that. What's going to be CM Punk's best feud? I think right away, the obvious answer is Rollins, because there's legit heat in there. And I'm waiting. We've not seen Punk's reaction to it, because if I'm Punk, I'm again, what I said earlier, homeboy, nobody gave a crap about your two-toned haired ass when you were not even lead guitar in Motley Crue at the time. You were the backup guitarist, like you were the bass guitarist. You were Mick Mars. You weren't Nikki Sixx. You weren't Vince Neil. You like that? But
I mean, Mick Mars, like in a way, low key, is probably the most talented member of Motley Crue. But we don't have to get into that.
But he's not the most famous. It's definitely Vince, Nikki Sixx, and then I would argue it's
Tommy Lee.
Lee.
I think Tommy Lee's the most famous member of Motley Crue.
Yes.
Arguably.
Before he had sex with Pamela Anderson.
Yes, and the Methods of Mayhem record, which low-key banger.
I agree. I agree. No, it was good.
It was good.
Very good. Hit hard.
It did. But CM Punk was saving.
Give us another one in a feud of 24 besides Seth, Glenn. Anybody?
No, I think Roman at SummerSlam.
Huh. Wait, for Punk?
For Punk, yeah, Punk versus Roman at SummerSlam. For next year's SummerSlam, for 2024 SummerSlam. I think they got to do it.
You heard it here, folks.
I think they got to do it. I mean, look, if they could, I think they should do Stone Cold this WrestleMania, because neither of them are getting any younger.
Right.
You
I
know?
don't hate that. I would buy it. I swear to God, if not that we're buying it because I have Peacock, but I would buy it. It was on pay-per-view and I
Oh
didn't have
yeah.
Peacock. I would.
No, I think you got to get this because who knows how long it's going to last. And that's what I liked in this promo tonight. Seth even saying like, "Oh, you're going to burn out. I'll show you the door when it all falls
Yeah.
apart."
Yeah, he did.
You know, it was very, very good. It was very hot. I think,
Very spicy.
man, like WWE is just firing on all cylinders now. I'm bummed, but and here's the thing about him going to Raw. By the way, this shit doesn't matter. He's gonna still show up on SmackDown. He'll
You're
still
right.
show up in NXT. He could be NXT North American champion. You know,
If there is a few where it makes sense. I
Yeah.
could see him do. I could see them doing that with him. It would make sense. I'd put him on NXT every once in a while and have him work with one of the younger talents. I
Yeah.
just think, especially the built-in storyline with oh god, my brain farting on her name. The girl.
Poor Jade.
Oh, that story writes itself.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Cool. Any final thoughts before we wrap this up, Matt? Let people get back to watching Raw and then their regularly scheduled
I'm
after.
sorry to interrupt you all, but I'm not sorry because his promo was an absolute grand slam and then some. And we saw a we saw a empathetic Punk, which is sympathetic Punk, which if you asked me a week ago, is that possible? I'd say hell no. But we found it tonight, and he's such a good promo. He got it in, he did it. He got Cleveland to get behind him, and they were chanting CM Punk more than they were chanting for Seth Rollins, which I was very surprised by, but they did because of his mic work just minutes earlier.
Yeah.
This was a great promo. I'm glad we got to cover it, and everybody that did watch this, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. CM Punk is on an apology tour now. Hopefully a nice 5-figure amount shows up in Colt Cabana's mom's bank account tomorrow.
That would make it right, in my opinion. Yes.
Cool. Everybody, Gigantic Pop every Sunday. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. Thank you for tuning in for this instant reaction. We'll catch you back here next time. Enjoy the rest of Monday Night Raw.